Welcome. This is the IT and the D Show presents the podcast behind the podcast behind the podcast. It's Bob the sales guy hanging out.
Bob, you know you're wearing a mic, right? You don't
No,
have to shout.
I don't.
Good.
It's what I do.
It's good.
It's Bob the sales guy here with Dave the geek, and we are hanging out in beautiful Activate Gaming Lounge right below our studios in Podcast Detroit. Read everything you want to know about us at itandthed.com. And yes, I yell on the podcast
And
too.
probably some things you don't want to know about us. So
Exactly. So what we do every week, this is day after Thanksgiving. I ate like it was Thanksgiving. Valentine's Day yesterday. I ate all the things. That's probably why I'm still... But we're going to bring you the top 3 things we're going to talk about on our podcast, which we go live every Monday night from 9 to 11 p.m. on Podcast Detroit. And right off the bat, where do we start?
let's talk about Uber. I mean, it's always one of our favorite topics, and they're in the news yet again, and it's still not pretty.
Well, Friday night, we have tickets for Jim Norton down in Royal Oak Music Theater.
Oh, this thing, yeah, absolutely.
And my wife says, let's just take an Uber and let's get a little crazy tonight. I says, perfect. So what do? I look up at Uber X. There's none available. Uber XL. There's a surge. What's the surge?
From Auburn Hills, there's a surge.
5.6x.
Right, which puts it at
Auburn
Hills to Royal Oak. You're talking what?
12 miles.
Yeah, 20-minute drive.
If that.
Yeah.
If that. With no traffic, 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
$142. $142. And no, I wasn't in a limo. They weren't serving me champagne.
Right.
They weren't feeding me. I was riding in someone's Toyota Corolla.
That's the beauty. They've renewed all their terms of service, and people are bailing away from Uber. So that means there are fewer Uber drivers, which means you are more likely to encounter a surge, which means you are more likely, since the new terms of service, to encounter a cranky Uber driver, which is why we wanted an alternative to taxis, because all the taxi drivers were cranky, and yeah.
And their logo looks like a butthole.
Now, yeah, great redesign, guys. Love every minute of it.
I mean, you get your valuation up to $50 billion. Now you just decide to bury the company. Nice. Our valuation's way too high. We're way too good as a company. Let's kill this thing. And so speaking of stupid companies, we like to talk about stupid people.
Yeah.
Stupidest person this week on the planet, by all shadows of a doubt, has to be Mr. Kanye West. And
I'm torn about this. I got to be honest with you. So if you missed it on Twitter, Facebook, and a few of these, Kanye's basically saying he's 53 million down,
53.6.
yeah, in the red, and issued a public plea to Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook fame to invest $1 billion in Kanye. I can only think of one of 2 things. One of 3 things. Either the drugs have just finally caught up with him, or we're watching yet another meltdown caused by far too close proximity of Kardashian, or he pissed off his social media assistant, who's now running rampant with all of his accounts.
It would be hilarious if that's what it was. Out of all the things, I'm just thinking he's at home going, I need $1 billion. I'm just going to tweet Mark Zuckerberg and he's going to answer me. That's probably as stupid as all the people going, reshare this and Mark Zuckerberg will give you $5,000.
Yeah, exactly. We should all do that. We should all start tweeting at Mark Zuckerberg and ask him for $1 billion.
That was kind of $100, Mark.
I don't need $1 billion. I'm not Kanye.
Why did you ask for $100,000, Bobby? Probably you're better idiot.
Well, they always say if you're going to ask big. That's really the big thing.
$1 billion.
But and so just because, and actually, real quick, last week's episode we did talk about the Flint water crisis. I do want to mention that again, just because it was a really heavy topic. If you haven't watched or listened to that one, you really should. It's over 400K listens.
400,000.
We've heard from a number of people so far, which is really cool. That are organizing groups to head up to Flint, which is what they said they really need to get up there and volunteer and help hand out stuff, and life's good. But on getting away from that, but go listen to it. My fun tech news of the week, and this is why this is an Android phone.
Yeah.
Because if you have an iPhone and if you're really bored and you start playing with date settings, apparently if you set the date back to, is it January 1st, 1970? You break your phone. And it's unrecoverable.
Well, here's where it gets funny.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So the new thing this year, the hotness, has been telling people, like, hey, pro tip, and trolling them into, like, putting nails in their tires for winter, or, like, putting something in your oven that's not supposed to go
Right.
there. This one was 4chan going, set your date back to 1970, and you get the old logos from
The old retro Apple logo
even though
and ad, and yeah.
even though Apple wasn't a company in 1970, but we'll
Right.
let you figure that out. So yeah, it completely bricks your phone. It turns your phone into a $600 paperweight.
Yes, which nothing can be done for.
And people are
It's
doing
beautiful.
and people are doing it
Because it's the internet.
because some kid on 4chan says so.
If you read it on the internet, it must be true.
Right.
So yeah, so that's us. Tonight will be episode 131. In case you're watching this before Thursday, we do have one of our casual networking events taking place over at Hamlin Corner Thursday night. We'll be there from 5:30 on. Come on out and meet us in person, hang out, network, meet some cool people in the IT industry throughout Metro Detroit. So yeah, tonight's episode 131. Hope you give it a listen.
Cheers.